Starting a podcast at the age of 51 might seem like a crazy idea to some of you, but for me it's been the bravest, boldest and most freeing thing to do. Hi, my name is Surjit and I'm a 51-year-old British-born Indian woman with a Punjabi background. And I'm here today to take you on a journey with me where I'm stepping completely out of my comfort zone and entering the Gen Z world of podcasting. By day, I'm a dental hygienist and I have been for the last 28 years. And I've been in dentistry over 30 years and I love my day job. So professionally, I have built a very successful career, but I always felt that creatively and personally, spiritually, there was something missing. And this is how this podcast, Unapologetically Brown, has come about. My podcast is all about what it was like growing up in the UK in the 80s and 90s as a young child and a young adult. We were torn between two cultures. We were beginning to love the freedoms of the British life that we were here and taking on and embracing. And at the same time, we were having to be the traditional Indian girls that our parents wanted us to be. Our parents were desperately trying to hang on to the life they knew back home in the Punjab in India. And those were the traditions and the cultures they wanted us to follow. We were code switching. We were being two different people and we were getting very good at it. We were mastering the art. We were having to be one person and then the next. We were being different people at school and having to come home and conform to being, again, the good Indian traditional girls our parents were asking us to be. For me, turning 50 was a milestone. And it was a turning point for me where I realised that there are stories that we need to talk about. There are stories that our parents told us. There are stories our parents didn't tell us. There were things that we spoke about among our communities and there were lots of things that we didn't. Well, we need to start talking and we need to start telling those stories. There are things that we should be sharing that future generations should know about. There are cultures and traditions that actually, you know what, we want to forget about. They weren't great, but there are cultures and traditions that we need to hang on to and our children need to know about. There are things that our communities are ashamed to talk about, such as arranged marriages, drinking in our culture. These are all things that I feel we need to be discussing. These are things that I think we need to talk about. So that's what this podcast, Unapologetically Brown, is going to be all about. It's going to be discovering those stories, discussing those topics, and get everybody talking. I want my podcast to start conversations in your living rooms, among your families and your friends. I want you to be able to resonate with those stories. For those of you who loved the 80s and 90s just as much as I did, I loved the cassette players, the big hair, the rah-rah skirts, and the Rubik's Cube. It's going to be those fond memories. I love talking about those memories. They were fond memories, and I feel so passionate about those memories. And it's great to get those conversations started, those conversations where you could be resonating with those memories, talking about those things as much as I talk about them, but also covering those important topics, the topics that we have been told to and forbidden to talk about. It's somewhere where we can start these conversations and give the opportunity to everybody to have a voice and express what they've lived through and what their experiences were. It's a place where we can talk about our quiet struggles, not just for us growing up, but our parents and their generation, what it was like for them. The battles that we went through as youngsters, and also how we are coping with what we are seeing today on our TV screens, how the country's landscape is changing yet again. Certainly for me, I know that I feel very uncomfortable seeing what I've seen. I myself have never experienced extreme forms of racism. I grew up in Southall. Yes, I'm a Southall girl, and of course it was there. But my parents were fantastic at protecting us from it at the time when we were very young. So for me, the experience and what we're seeing today on our TV screens, I didn't think I would ever be seeing these scenes again in this country. And I do feel that these things need to be discussed because for us, we're experiencing it almost for the first time and it's making us feel very uncomfortable. So I do think it's something that needs to be spoken about. It's something that we need to share. So more than anything, I want to show all the women like me, the mums, the sisters, the daughters, that if I can do it, and I didn't have the first clue about podcasting, I took that leap of faith, then anyone can do it. So please join me on this podcast. If it's something you think that you may be resonating with, it may relate to you, then listen to my podcast. Join me for the first episode of Unapologetically Brown.